morning, everyone!
Hello, hello, and welcome to your holiday break. That's right, it's a holiday today, but it is still a good day here with us. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let's start the month right together, you and us, with a dose of laughter, inspiration, information, and unstoppable energy.
Happy Thursday, I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always no fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. So Anne and I did not plan this, just so you guys know. We walked in this morning in the makeup room and we were like, oh, we matched.
We surprised each other this morning.
This
we were
was
like,
not on purpose.
We're so in sync.
I was like, Anne, stop wearing my stuff.
I know you guys were a big fan of Justin Timberlake yesterday, and that's why you're in sync.
Yeah.
But, sasayaw ba kayo? I mean,
not me, that's Anne.
Oh my God.
You can do the bye-bye-bye dance. Do you know that?
Are we gonna, but I know, hindi ko memorize. Baka Paolo.
No, memorize ko pa, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh,
wow.
Nah, just joking. Of course I don't. I don't know any choreography anymore.
Whatever.
But then, we have an interesting show coming up. Obviously, we're going to be talking about free diving, marine photography.
Yeah.
We have Gutsy Tuason coming on. Really excited to see. I love his work. And of course, I think more people know his work than they realize.
Yes, and don't say anything.
Yeah.
You'll find out why during that interview. And it's really cool. I just found out before the show. I'm amazed. I was like, that was you?
Yeah.
But yesterday we were looking at some of his photos, and I was like, oh
They're
my
really
goodness,
cool.
if I was there in that particular situation.
Like you were a tuna or?
No, I mean,
sardine.
just
A
waiting
sardine.
for that perfect moment when marine life come together. It's scary
Akala
to be
ko gusto mo
down
maging
there.
sardinas.
Ayoko naman.
Okay. But then, of course, we also have Pat Castillo. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Haji. And we're going to pay tribute, because I think that's just fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But then, from water to so much more, of course, kapag holiday, what we normally anticipate.
No traffic. It's the best time to be out. So are we right about that?
Let's go check out the major roads, or the roads and major thoroughfares this Thursday. First up, let's take a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are the vehicles going to Cubao, and on the right side are for vehicles going to White Plains. As you can see, we are not seeing any problem as of this hour. Roads are clear, everything free-flowing. Now here is a look at EDSA Orense in Makati. On the left side are vehicles going to Pasay City. On the right side are the vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. It is a good day to drive today. Roads are clear, but please drive safe, drive carefully. Now, heads up to motorists. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is suspended since today, Labor Day, is a regular holiday.
Let's find out what the weather's going to be like this Thursday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
Thank you, Momo. Of course, let's take a look at what we were monitoring the past few days, which is a low pressure area. But as of 2 a.m., the low pressure area, or the LPA, that we have been monitoring very closely has completely dissipated, bringing a temporary end to its potential weather impacts. Now, we did see it down here in the south of the Philippines, but then it has dissipated, as you mentioned. Now, two major weather systems are influencing the Philippine weather pattern today. The first is the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or the ITCZ. Now, this is happening here in the south of the Philippines, which is currently affecting Mindanao and parts of Palawan. Now, the second is the easterlies, or the warm and humid air coming in from the Pacific, which is affecting the rest of the country. Now, the ITCZ is expected to bring intermittent rain showers and thunderstorms across Palawan and Mindanao, as you can see here by the affected areas. Now, residents in these areas should be prepared for sudden weather changes, as these storms may be accompanied by gusty winds and heavy downpour. Now, these conditions could trigger localized flooding in low-lying areas and even landslides, particularly in mountainous or slope-prone regions. Meanwhile, the easterlies continues to push clouds and moisture towards the eastern Visayas, in particular eastern Samar, which is likely to experience cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and isolated thunderstorms all throughout the day. Now, people living in flood-prone areas or landslide-susceptible zones are advised to stay alert and heed local authorities, as moderate to sometimes heavy rainfall could pose safety risks. Now, for the rest of the country, hot and humid weather will prevail. Now, these conditions will drive the temperatures higher. Now, speaking of the temperatures, let's take a look at how the easterly winds are influencing Pag-asa's most recent heat index forecast. Now, leading the heat chart today are Sangley Point in Cavite and Tanawan in Batangas. Now, each of them recording a whopping heat index of 45 degrees Celsius, making them the hottest areas in the country today. Now, trailing closely with a searing 44 degrees Celsius heat index are Naiya in Pasay City, Iba in Zambales, and Dagupan in Pangasinan. Grabe yung sa Naiya. It's a good thing you're flying out, right? Well, residents in these hot spots are strongly advised to limit sun exposure, stay well hydrated, and be on the lookout for symptoms of heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Now, several more areas are also experiencing dangerously high heat index levels at 43 degrees Celsius, including Subic Bay in Olongapo, San Ildefonso in Bulacan, Camiling, Tarlac, Infanta, Quezon, and Virac, Catanduanes. Additional locations expected to hit 42 degrees Celsius include Bacnotan, La Union, Tuguegarao City, Cagayan, Etiague in Isabela, Hacienda Luisita in Tarlac, San Jose in Occidental Mindoro, Puyo, Palawan, and Pili, Camarines Sur. In light of these extreme temperatures, it's essential to take necessary safety precautions, drink water regularly, avoid heavy outdoor activities during the peak heat hours, especially from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and provide extra care for children, the elderly, and those with medical conditions who are most at risk. Now, at present, there are no gale warnings in effect around the country, and sea conditions remain fair and calm. Now, remember, small fishing boats and light watercraft are generally safe to go out there, but winds and wave heights are most likely light to moderate along coastal regions, making marine travel relatively safe. However, sailors and fisherfolk are still advised to remain alert, as weather conditions can change unexpectedly. So always check out the latest weather advisories before setting out to sea. And back to you. That's it for Weather HQ at the moment.
Thank you so much for that weather update, Pao. Now on to our national news this morning. Vice President Sara Duterte receives summons from the Office of the Prosecutor. This is in connection with the sedition case filed against her by the National Bureau of Investigation. The NBI had earlier recommended the Justice Department to file charges of grave threats and inciting to sedition against Duterte for her supposed kill plot against the First Family. If the case proceeds, VP Sara could face up to 12 years of jail, according to the NBI.
PNP Chief Romel Marbil and CIDG Director Nicolas Torre are ready to face a possible probe by the Ombudsman on the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Marbil and Torre are among the personalities that Senator Amy Marcos seeks to investigate for alleged grave arbitrary detention and grave conduct. The National Police says they're just doing their job and only provided help to the Philippine Center on Transnational Crime.
They are prepared to answer any and all charges before any proper forum. But we have to reiterate na ang naging papel lang po ng PNP dito sa pag-aresto po kay dating Pangulong Duterte is we just extended assistance sa PCPC who requested na tulungan natin sila para i-implement po yung red fusion notice po issued against the former president po. And they believe they acted within the bounds of law and within the mandate of their office.
The Naka-CMD party asked the NBI to prioritize the investigation into the Oplan Horus document. Ana Capella Velasco, Executive Director of Lakas, writes, "The fake document published last week by a newspaper and spread on social media has damaged the reputation not only of House Majority Leader Manix Dalipe, but also of the entire party." Representative Toby Tiangco, campaign manager for the admin senatorial slate, stated that he asked Dalipe about the document and Dalipe declared it fake. Dalipe has also filed a cyber libel case against the Manila Times for spreading the document. Meanwhile, Kabataan Representative Raul Manuel says it should be a priority to eliminate the sources of fake news.
Dapat priority ng pamahalaan. Ito yung nababanggit ko rin sa mga hearing ng TRICOM na ang i-address talaga ay yung ugat. Kasi yung mga mensahe naman na lumalabas sa iba't ibang spaces, whether printed media man yan or online, meron talagang iilang tao na sila yung nagka-craft ng mensahe at nagde-decide na ito yung framing ng message, ito yung mga hindi totoo na ipapasok natin. Tapos sila yung may bibigay ng go signal na ilabas yan.
The congressman also adds the suppression of fake news should be balanced not to impugn rather upon the right of freedom of speech.
Ang gusto natin balanse, we target disinformation pero hindi natin nakikripple naman yung karapatan na ating mga kababayan or ng media. So yun yung ating principle moving forward. Kung merong mga kung sino man na tao or entity na actively nagko-collaborate dun sa mga masterminds talaga ng disinformation, edi to different degrees, meron silang dapat sagutin din.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will seek an investigation into private water utility firm Prime Water Infrastructure, owned by the Villar family. This comes after following complaints of poor service and high cost nationwide. Malacanang Press Undersecretary Claire Castro said this, noting that lack of service has no place in the Marcos administration.
Kakulangan sa serbisyo ay walang puwang sa administrasyon ni Pangulong Marcos Jr.
Meanwhile, House Assistant Majority Leader Jefferson Konghun has earlier said he would file a resolution for a probe into Prime Water once Congress resumes session in June.
Ang bombero ng Pilipinas party list calls for justice on the killing of their former chairman and third nominee, Leninsky Bacud. The party's first nominee, Jose Antonio Goitia, has stated that he will leave the investigation of the incident to the authorities. However, he repeatedly states that the incident likely has political roots as they have a rival group, which he says is not a true representative of firemen.
Kahit sino naman pong organisasyon, pag merong ganyang katunggali, yung kaagad ang pagbibintangan mo. Kasi yun ang pinakamalinaw na pwedeng manakit o pwedeng gumawa nitong mga bagay na to. Pero pinagkakatiwala pa rin namin sa alagad ng batas at sa hustisya ang pag-imbestiga at paglutas nitong mga krimen na nangyari.
Sir, sorry, okay lang po ba na pangalanan po ito pong kabilang kampo na ito?
Hindi ko po pwedeng legally, I cannot say that.
Goitia adds their anger on the incident will only end once COMELEC issues a resolution on the cases against the rival group, and so asked COMELEC Chairman Garcia to make a decision on the issue.
Chairman Garcia, alam namin, kayo po ay taong mapagkakatiwalaan, may dignidad at tunay na pinuno. Nakikiusap kami sa inyo. Patunayan niyo po ang inyong sinumpaan, tungkulin. Ilabas niyo na po ang resolusyon na nagpapatunay kung sino ang tunay na representante ng sektor. Huwag ho natin tulugan ang resolusyon na ito.
The PNP says it has a solid lead on the killing of former Kilabot acclaimed mayor and veteran journalist Juan Johnny Daya. Daya was killed by a gunman at his home Tuesday night. The police says its special task group is reviewing CCTV footage showing the suspect's movements. Among the possible angles the task group is looking at are politics and Daya's job. The former mayor was the longtime president of the Publishers Association of the Philippines and once headed the Manila Overseas Press Club.
Malacanang denies plans to replace PBBM's cousin, Martin Romualdez, as House Speaker. That's according to Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin after a supposed internal memo with his signature spread on social media. Bersamin says the document is fake and malicious. He also believes it may be part of a disinformation campaign aiming to break up the administration candidates before the midterm elections.
The Department of Agriculture defends the government's 20 pesos per kilo rice program from comments saying the rice is low in quality and that the program was created for politicking. In BNC's agenda, Agriculture Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa explains they are just helping Filipino farmers.
Gusto lang namin sabihin na matagal na itong programa ng ating kagawaran. In fact, nagsimula tayo dito sa ating P29 at saka yung Rice for All natin, the same quality ng bigas. At sa loob ng 6 na buwan na ini-implement natin ito, wala naman tayong natatanggap na mga major complaints regarding sa quality ng bigas. At ito ay galing sa tanim at harvest ng ating mga magsasaka.
The DA also explains they are a technical agency exempt from politicking and that they are only responding to the food security emergency. There are currently about 370 to 380,000 metric tons of NFA rice in the country. And the DA says this program aims to help farmers free up their warehouses, especially during peak harvest of rice. The DA plans to provide affordable rice to 800,000 households in Visayas in the early stages of the program.
Move It is pushing back hard against a new order from state transport regulators. The motorcycle taxi player insists it has been fully compliant with the rider cap guidelines set by the technical working group. The LTFRB ordered Move It to stop operations in Cebu and Cagayan de Oro and to cut down its rider base in Metro Manila. Regulators explain Move It violated its 15,000 rider limit, but the service provider says it seeks to speak with the LTFRB, explaining that its riders may lose their livelihood.
Open kami for dialogue with them, no, sa mga kinauukulan. At nang sa ganon, mabigyan po natin ng solusyon, agarang solusyon ito. No? Ang gusto lang ho namin talaga rito ay magkaroon ng pagkakapantay-pantay na pagtrato sa lahat ng MC taxi players at masigurado na magpapatuloy ang buhay ng aming mga riders.
International credit watcher Fitch Ratings has raised the Philippines' standing from negative to stable, while they reaffirm the country's investment grade to BBB. According to Fitch, this is due to the moderated inflation rate, along with stable domestic growth, sound fiscal policy, and limited exposure to global trade tensions. For Finance Secretary Ralph Recto, this is proof of the credit watcher's confidence in the direction of the country's economy. The BSP stated it is also keeping watch on the policy settings so as to help in reducing inflation. Fitch predicts a 5.6% increase in the country's GDP, up to 6% on medium term because of the strong infrastructure spending, service export, and private consumption supported by remittance transfers.
The Philippines and New Zealand have committed to strengthen defense cooperation with the signing of a Visiting Forces Agreement, or a VFA, yesterday. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. witnessed New Zealand Minister of Defense Judith Collins and her counterpart, Defense Secretary Gilbert Eudoro, sign the VFA during a ceremonial event in Malacanang. The Security Pact sets the legal framework for military cooperation, including joint exercises between the two nations. Collins said the VFA will ensure that both countries' defense forces can work together with ease when urgent responses are needed.
In world news, Vietnam celebrated the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War with commemorative performances and military parade. Vietnam's Communist Party chief and top leader To Lam highlighted the country's triumphs and said they have overcome a multitude of difficulties. The historic anniversary commemorates the first act of the country's reunification on April 30, 1975, when communist-run North Vietnam seized Saigon and renamed it Ho Chi Minh.
China making moves to concede to U.S. tariffs in silence. China has reportedly created a list of U.S.-made products that would be exempted from its 125% tariffs and is quietly notifying companies about the policy. This as Beijing seeks to ease the impact of its trade war in Washington without changing its public message. China has repeatedly said that it is willing to fight till the end unless the U.S. lifts its 145% tariffs. It was not immediately clear how many and which products have been included in the list, which authorities have not shared.
Over in sports, Barangay Ginebra San Miguel regains its winning groove in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Gin Kings shut down the Northport Batang Pier Wednesday at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig. Pang score 131-106. RJ Abarientos led the way with 27 points, while the best player of the game, and the star of the game really, Jason David, strutting his stuff after he moved up in the roster to take over L.A. Tenorio's spot. David had a solid game of 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Over in the first game, the Converge Fiber Xers cruised to their third straight victory at the expense of the Rain or Shine Alaska Painters, 107-97. Best player of the game, Shawnee Winston, led the Fiber Xers with 24 big ones. The De La Salle Lady Spikers is a win away from securing a spot in the UAAP Season 87 Women's Volleyball Finals. The Lady Spikers defeated the UST Golden Tigresses in 4 sets in the battle for the second seed and a twice-to-beat advantage on Wednesday. The second game of this virtual best-of-3 series will be on Saturday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Still the UAAP, it's goodbye Recto and hello Diliman for Rainer Maga as he takes his talents to UP. The UP's Office of Athletics and Sports Development confirmed Maga's transfer. Maga follows in the footsteps of Ray Remogat, who also moved from UE last year. Maga will be cleared to play for the Fighting Maroons in Season 89, where he will serve his 2 remaining eligibility years. This comes after Francis Lopez decides to leave UP by turning pro and moving to the Japan B-League.
Now on to entertainment. Filipino actress Dolly De Leon, who rose to global prominence for her role in Triangle of Sadness, continues to break new ground in the international scene. She will be starring in the second season of the psychological drama series 9 Perfect Strangers, together with Oscar-winning actress Nicole Kidman, as well as other Hollywood stars. The first 2 episodes of the new season will premiere on Hulu on May 21st, followed by weekly releases.
The trailer for Now You See Me, Now You Don't just dropped yesterday. It's the sequel.
I love that
I'm excited.
movie.
Same.
Though they're doing that thing again when they change the title instead of saying Now You See Me 3. Now You See Me, Now You Don't, right?
Yeah.
It's reminding me of the Fast and the Furious series.
Oh yeah, they always do change that.
Yes.
Because, if they're going to do this at the start, it should be...
What?
No, my joke went away. No.
Oh, man.
I was waiting for it.
Now
But
You
you
See
can
Me
just
too.
say
I
it
was going to say,
anyway.
so dapat diba Now You See Me also? Ganon.
Now you
But
see
then,
me.
I literally was reading it and I was like, John Cena?
I'm so proud of you two.
He should totally
I'm
make a
so
cameo.
proud of you two.
O, di ba na-apply na
Yes,
na na-apply nyo na yung
It's
joke
been
na
like
no?
how many months and now we understand.
Yeah, I know. Finally, my God.
What do you mean finally? It
Kasi,
just took us 1 episode.
guys, thank you so much for bullying these two into discovering who John Cena was.
No, they
okay?
did not bully us.
Kasi-
Nobody bullied us but
What
you.
are you
It was
No,
just you.
No, you were complaining about the comments.
I was not.
Yes, you
No,
were.
because you posted our videos
Yes, I
making
did.
us seem like we had no idea, which we didn't. But why would you make us look bad like that, Paolo? That's literally my number 1 question. Why you got to do that?
I mean, like the same person who called me out yesterday for not saying
Because
it's going to be May. stay as good as
because you did that, so I had to figure out another way like 5 months later.
Okay, so I'm just really like sitting here and wanting to say that I love watching heist movies. You know, like stealing stuff and getting away with it. I love watching those kinds of movies.
Bakit sila yung mga idol mo?
I know, I was like, Anne, why? Do you want to practice?
Ever since I was a kid, I always loved these
She's
kinds
getting
of
ideas.
movies.
What was your favorite heist movie?
Actually, it was the Ocean's 11
Yeah,
series.
I was going to say the Ocean series. Yeah.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
but this
many
is
of
good
them.
too. This is
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good
of course,
too.
this
good.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I just started watching though? Again, rewatching because of like everything happening in Italy right now. The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, I love the Da Vinci Code.
I don't know why it
Is that
has such.
heist though? So would you consider it a heist movie?
It's not really
No,
a
it's not
heist.
a
It's
heist.
just
More
more
like
of a
a-
thriller. But
Yeah.
I'm just so
Yeah.
interested because of like everything that's happening, you know, with the church and stuff. It's just interesting to revisit it.
Yes.
I just don't know why the reviews are so bad online.
No, 'cause
It's terrible.
It's an okay movie.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting.
It's interesting, especially if
The-
you
the-
like these kinds of mysteries.
Yeah.
To be fair, the book is just really good.
I heard the book
is
was
really
better.
good.
I haven't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You haven't read
you
it?
should.
I haven't
you
read
should.
it.
You can't
I
put it
really
down.
can't
better.
read
All right,
books.
so
My
enough of
ADHD.
So instead of looking for the mysteries of what's happening over at the Da Vinci Code and Dan Brown books, we'll go instead to the depths of the ocean. Of course, we're going to someone who will view it through the lens of his camera. Our guest brings the unseen to life with his stunning images. Award-winning underwater photographer Scott Gutsy Tuason will join us after the break. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Our guest today is considered an institution in the art of underwater photography. He has won awards left and right with his detailed and captivating images of marine life. Joining us live in the studio is acclaimed underwater photographer Scott Gutsy Tuason. It's a beautiful day. Gutsy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get started first with how this all began for you. Of course, we'll go through your work later on, but I just want to know a bit about the origin story. Just what got you in the water in the first place, and what got you taking photos of what's happening underwater?
Bro, pretty much ever since I can remember, when I was, maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, I mean, I've always been interested in marine life. My kids' books were like Time Life books with sharks and fish and everything. It wasn't a run, spot, run or anything like that. And then obviously my parents took me to the beach and, got me a mask and looked underwater. And then from there just escalated into, my dad took up diving in 1976 and then he took me on his back, in 1977 or 78, something like that, when I was like 9 and I finally got my, it wasn't a license, but I got my own gear at 11.
Yeah.
And then I got certified when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I became an instructor in 1990. And my first camera was 1985.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, when I was in high school. And I've been barely able to take a bath without it ever since. I mean, I just take I take that thing everywhere when I go diving, yeah.
I was telling Scott earlier in the makeup room that we were looking at some of your photos yesterday, and I was just blown away by the images of the marine life, the sharks and everything. And I was dying to ask this question. Have you ever had like a close encounter with a shark or anything that really put your life in danger? The scary parts of being there.
Actually, when we spoke, I said not really, but then I remembered there was one incident.
Okay.
That I remember in Tubataha, where I was in like 7 meters. It was the end of the dive, and I was kind of separated from the group. And out of the shallows, when I had my back turned from the shallow area, this 4 meter, 5 meter, big tiger shark.
Wow.
Just went straight at me.
Oh my God.
At a pretty good
Scary.
and I was looking in the blue, And I just happened to turn around and I just saw this thing just going zing, making a beeline for me. And at first I thought it was a whale shark.
Yeah.
It was so big, right? A small whale shark. And I was like, oh, it's a tiger.
Yeah.
But my first instinct is like to take its photo. And
Yeah.
you know, normally with marine life, they don't like to be challenged.
Right, yes,
So
yes.
It I don't know. I don't think it wasn't going to probably bite me. It was probably going to just like something got. He was very interested in it, and since I wasn't looking at the animal, and they're ambush predators, that's when they like to sneak up on you. Right?
Yeah.
And
Oh my goodness, I would panic.
and then I just went bing, 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 bing.
Real quick.
He was like right there.
Pray that he doesn't
His
attack.
snout was like that big.
Wow.
And
Great photos though.
and then the photos were pretty good.
Just the memories.
But the thing is, that animal also got just as scared as I did.
Yeah.
And then turned around and
He
just
zipped away.
it even made it like a little bit of a sonic boom, boom.
Oh, really?
Because he whacked his tail so hard and fast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people actually don't know, I did get certified for diving, just a beginner. So I do dive sometimes when I have time. And I know diving at night, actually, diving at night is scary for me because when you're underwater and there's no light at all, I feel very claustrophobic.
Yeah,
so I want to know how you take photos at night and how do you prepare for them?
So in what was it, like 2012 or 2011, I went to Hawaii and the dive company there was offering this thing called Pelagic Magic, and it was a night dive in the middle of the ocean. And you're like 4 or 5 nautical miles offshore, and it's about 4,000 meters deep. Oh my God. Obviously, you're not going to 4,000, right? But you're just suspended there. And it was an idea that I'd seen in one of my. I got a book in high school called Within a Rainbowed Sea, and there was this photographer, Chris Newbert, who sort of got some images in Hawaii doing night dive in the middle of the ocean. I was just like, holy moly, that's really scary, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's always kind of intrigued me. And then when I finally did it, when I was in Hawaii, I was just like, wow, this is really fascinating because you don't see things that you normally see on a day dive, and you don't certainly, and they're not creatures that are found on the reef.
Right.
If they're found on the reef, they're in a different stage of life. They're in the larval, it's much safer to be out in the middle of the ocean. If you're a larval, let's say Moorish idol, or rather than be on the reef and get eaten by all the predators there, they'll take their chances out there. So that's so you get to see a lot of reef creatures that are not in their developed stage yet, and then you get to see stuff that just won't go near the reef. They go from the bottom and they come up at night, and then when the sun starts to come out,
they go back
down. They stay in the 200-meter range, depending what animal.
Really cool.
All right, so Gutsy, what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna use this big LED here, and you're gonna walk us through some of the stuff that you've shot in the past. So we're gonna pull up some of the photos. We're gonna have here an image of a rabbit fish and a jellyfish. I think that.
Wow, that is so cool.
So that's it's been in the news lately. That's a box jellyfish. And I took that image in Aurora province that's on the Pacific side. I was doing a book there for the Angaras and their governor at the time. And so that is and it's a larval rabbit fish. Right. And a wasp or a box jellyfish, and he's. A jellyfish doesn't have any eyes, or doesn't have the eyes that we have, but it's got all these sensories around it, and it's actually quite the aggressive predator. It goes towards you. I can understand why people get stung by them, because it doesn't try to avoid people. It actually goes towards you.
Yeah, it looks for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you're, and I've seen that also happen where, so at the end of this photo, that rabbit fish is up inside the bell and starting to get consumed.
And you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it, right?
It's totally clear.
And what does that jellyfish do after that whole thing? He lays out his tentacles and starts hunting again.
Yes.
And I'm just
Violent
like,
creatures.
where are you putting it all?
Scary.
Right? So that was quite a, that was, yeah.
Oh, that's
pretty interesting.
incredible. So
Yeah.
next up, we have this one. It's a close-up.
Was this one of your encounters?
No,
You
no.
almost died?
No idea how you
It's
took
like
that.
from
That's
the Jaws
insane.
Yeah,
That's like a Jaws poster right there.
so that's taken in South Australia. And,
Oh my God, that's so scary.
Shark
a lot
cage?
of a lot of shark encounters. You need some sort of chumming,
Yeah.
right? If you like, they do it all over the world.
That's on my bucket list, actually.
There's natural encounters, and then, but if people run trips specifically for, let's say, great whites, there is going to be chum, but it's very controlled in Australia. You can't chum for more than 1 hour, and there's all these rules. And if the sharks get too aggressive, there's a timeout. And they stop chumming and let the sharks calm down a bit. Right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the sharks there that's just coming in to bite the cage and sample it. Obviously, I'm in it, and you definitely don't want to go out of the cage in this situation.
Yeah.
The sharks are
You don't say.
they're very amped up.
It's ready to eat you.
All right.
Because
so
it's not necessarily a death sentence if you see a great white in the wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's not going to go right at you and kill you. Right. It's
Yeah.
I just don't want to encounter
You
one.
don't.
I
but
don't
if,
know, yeah.
But if they're jacked up like that,
Right.
you would bait and stuff.
Well,
then, yeah.
movies don't give them the greatest rap either.
No, they don't get the best.
Yeah, they don't get the
Right.
best rap. I
Jaws.
mean,
growing
Sharknado.
up watching Jaws, I'm like,
I'm
okay.
traumatized with that
Exactly.
movie.
Interesting. My first great white shark trip was with Peter Benchley, the author of Jaws.
Wow, that is so
In 2004,
wow, that's insane.
before he died. He died in
Okay,
2005, but yeah, it was
Wow.
I think it was his last. Because he became an advocate for sharks and he went
Yeah,
on shark
afterwards,
trips and
yeah.
everything. We just so happened to be in the same one in San Diego.
Wow, that's
That is
insane.
so cool.
All right, so this next one is drift fish and pyro, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that is so nice.
So that's a colony of animals called the pyrosome. Right? It's
Where was
basically millions of. That's taken in Anilao on a blackwater dive.
Oh wow, okay, wait, I
And
see it.
so that pyrosome creates a refuge for a lot of these larval and creatures that are in the blue, right? That when they grow up. So here's a larval trevally, which is a jack talakitok, and he's just finding refuge inside the pyrosome.
Such an adorable
And
photo.
there's also shrimp.
So close
it looks
up.
like
Oh,
it looks
my
like it's being
goodness.
eaten, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
He's actually finding refuge in there. You'll see sometimes you'll see shrimp, you'll see maybe some larval crabs also living on that pyrosome, hitching a ride with it.
All right, and the next one we have is a diamond squid.
Oh, the diamond squid.
That colors are
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yeah, this definitely won't. He's a deep water squid, open water. That's just one of the colors. I mean, they come in rainbow, all copper. I mean, he was just in a red phase when I took this photo because he's constantly changing. But yeah, this is one of my favorite animals to shoot in black water, the diamond squid.
It's so pretty.
It's beautiful animal.
Yeah,
and not that common,
Yeah. And the next one we have here, a school of fish from a dive in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
It's a tornado fish.
Yeah. So last year I went to Magdalena Bay on the Pacific side of Baja, Mexico, and they have the sardines show up there, and then hunting the sardines are bonitos, mahi-mahi, and what we really wanted to see was the marlin.
Yeah.
So you got these hundreds of marlin, thousands of marlin just feeding on bait balls. And so what happens is when the predators corral all the sardines, they ball up really tight for protection, right?
Yeah.
So it almost creates like a tornado. But one of the cool things was there's a school of bonito right under there.
Yeah, right there.
Once the bonito decide that they're gonna attack it, it becomes like a conveyor belt of bonitos
Taking turns, yeah.
taking turns, and there's this rattling sound, which actually attracts whales to come and feed.
Okay.
But that little ball will be gone in a few minutes. It's so fast.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's quite a sight to see.
Yeah, you also have this book called Anilao 25, right?
Yes.
It's actually the 25th anniversary
Yeah,
edition of
so-
this book. Can you tell us a bit more
I
about
love
it?
the photo.
Especially
25
with,
years ago, me and another photographer, Eduardo Cunhin, came out with the Anilao, a book called Anilao. We shot that on film. It was still old school color separation printing press that published by Bookmark. That book went on to win the Palme d'Or at the World Festival of Underwater Images in France.
Yeah.
Right, and actually kind of put Anilao on the map as far as underwater photography goes, because most people in the 90s in the Philippines assumed Anilao was really just a place where you got certified and it was just, it was close, but they didn't realize it's top 3 in the world for macro photography.
Now, Scott, I know most people, they've just probably seen your work just now, but what they don't know is that every day they actually do see your
They
work
come
because
across my whale shark.
yes, because on the back of the 100 peso bill, the butanding, the whale shark,
Yeah.
you shot that.
Yep,
How
and
did
I've
this
made
come
billions
about?
from it. Just
No
kidding.
way.
Hindi, hundreds
I
na
made
yun.
nothing.
He's made hundreds from this.
How did that come about? This is so cool.
I was at the time I was working with a studio or a design group that was bidding for the new 100 peso for the new currency, right?
Yeah.
That was 2009 or 10.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we just switched currencies
Yeah.
this year too.
And so they and then we were also talking about doing a book which was called Notes from the Sea at the time. So when they saw my underwater images, they were like, and then the animal was the theme for the. So they said, when we submit the designs, we're going to use your photos for the 100 peso bill. So I think that company won the 100 and the 20 peso.
I need to get this signed by you.
Yeah.
Whoever I borrowed this from.
I know it's going to be out of currency.
Mine now.
You cannot.
The new bills are.
You can't actually.
Legally, you cannot.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. So
I was gonna frame it.
I was gonna say Scott earned.
Or it won't be legal,
billion-
or it's illegal to actually sign it.
Because you can't deface it,
You can't.
technically.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll just tape like a paper here that you can sign.
Well, we won't do it on air.
I was gonna say Scott earned billions in 100 peso denomination
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
of your work. But what's next for you, Scott?
Yeah, so the Anilao 25 book, 25th anniversary. It's shot in digital. It's a new digital printing process. Not digital printing, it's still offset, but it's digital as well, right? And so I'm going to launch that in September. It's been quite a slow process, and that's a cool cover, but actually there's going to be 25 different covers.
Wow.
For each year.
Okay.
All right, so that's probably the next book I'm getting.
Yeah,
but
same.
thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
For sharing all your
it's
work.
been a while since I've
That's
been on
fun.
TV live.
Yeah.
I like it live.
We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
He's a wildlife, a marine photographer, Scott Gutsy Tuason. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Now, heartthrobs never die. That's why after the break, we are revisiting the legacy of OPM legend and 70s heartthrob Hajji Alejandro. So don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Known for his songs Nakapagtataka, Panakip Butas, and Kay Ganda ng Ating Musika, singer and actor Hajji Alejandro was considered a pillar in OPM. Haji had a magnetic stage presence that won hearts in the 70s and 80s, which ultimately earned him the title Kilabot ng mga Kolehiyala. As we lose another Filipino cultural icon, we revisit the legacy of the one and only Hajji Alejandro. Joining us via Zoom is Haji's former bandmate, singer and actress, Pat Castillo. It's a beautiful day, Miss Pat. Second time around for you on the show. Welcome back.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's really a beautiful day. And let me greet Paolo. You are Anne, right?
Yes, Anne and Monique. There you go.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Of course.
Although it's about the departure of Haji, huh? But, why not remember him?
Exactly. We want to go back to how everything started with Haji. You know, when he started singing, when his career started, his voice became like an anthem for an entire generation. People were singing his songs. Women were really going to his gigs, wanting to see him live. And he was discovered, I know, by Basil Valdez, right? And
that's right.
Yes, and he started with the circus band, and that's where you had your memories and experiences with Hajji Alejandro. How did everything start for him?
Well, there were other singers and band members before Haji, but Ating Jacinto, who was our musical director and manager at that time, was whittling down, making sure that it becomes a tight group. And Haji came along because his voice category was considered tenor at that time. And Basil was the baritone at that time. And it just so happened that Haji was so cute. so
That's
cute.
So true though, yeah.
Ay, nako, sinabi mo pa. And when he speaks with you, outside of the fact that he's very well-behaved, his eyes they just smile.
Yeah.
Natural thing, and it shines. And so you can imagine when he is singing, it's as if all of the girls were being sung to only by him. So that's his charisma on stage.
Like, it felt personal yung mga performances niya. And of course, we're here to celebrate him. And I kind of want to get your reaction po of when he started to be called Kilabot ng mga Kolehiyala. When that title started to be attached to him. Ano yung reaction mo? What was his reaction when he started to be calling that? And of course, nagulat ka ba that siya yung naging kilabot ng grupo?
Well, we could see it already during our road tours. We did a road tour of all the colleges around Manila, and I think even as far as Cebu.
Yeah.
It's really the women will just go to him after our concert and get his autograph and stuff like that. However, I think the Kilabot, how do you call that? Kilabot
Title.
Ng mga Kolehiyala.
Came about after we had split up as a group, and I think he had started to do solo gigs. And it was also because he was doing a lot of translated English hit songs. And that was, apparently that was being produced, his first album was produced by Jim Paredes of Apple. Those songs were really like Tagaraw. It's really so beautiful the way he sings it. But then you have to consider during that time, the singers that influenced him was like the like of Ronnie Dyson. I think I'll tell her. It's that kind of a voice that's hot, but at the same time full, and there's bottom and there's height. He was really a very, very good singer. Very good singer.
Miss Pat, you know, since we're already taking a trip down memory lane and honoring Haji's life, maybe what's your most memorable moment or gig that you've had with him?
Gigs, funny gigs, like, but I'm not sure if he was with us. We had to do something in a province, and it was for a fiesta, and we were being asked if we knew how to play paso doble, okay? In a quadrangle. Alam mo naman sa probinsya, no? May mga quadrangle dyan. And then I'm not sure, but Haji being a very good dancer, he comes from a family of dancers. I think it was his father who was very, very, he was quite well known for being a great dancer. At any rate, it started, no? So paso doble is and all of the women and the men go on a square around that quadrangle. The whole time it was it never stopped. And so the people complained. So sort of saying that, but we're a rock band. We don't play paso doble. So we had to hide, you know, especially Haji, because all of the young girls were running after him.
Oh, that's so good.
It was very difficult.
Miss Pat, you know, I remember watching Haji perform live back in 2023. And, you know, even after all those years when I watched him perform, he did an opening set to this parang fundraising event that my daughter was going to be performing in. And he was the opening set. He sang most of his famous songs. And I was just so in awe, like, oh my goodness, kaya siya tinawag na Kilabot ng mga Kolehiyala, because even in 2023, after all those years, ibang klase yung charisma niya on stage. And we had all these ladies in front, yung mga tita na sponsor ng event. Gusto, nagsisigawan sila.
Mga ka-HD Ann po.
Nagsisigawan sila, and then he went down the stage, tapos kinamayan niya yung mga ladies in front, and grabe yung charm niya talaga. He was just electric, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Aside from his charm, his charisma, what do you think, you know, helped in the longevity of his career? Yung hold niya sa audience, you know, even after all those years.
Let me put it this way. He also started doing a lot of the Elvis Presley songs. Because the way he could dance and because of the way he could handle his body, you see. So throughout the show, he's a pretty hard act to follow. Meaning to say, if there was a show that was an ensemble, meaning there were several of us, I wouldn't want to go after him. Because, he has that heat, he has that energy. He is so committed to the movements and the song. He knows when he's not in a very good, maybe he's feeling sick at that time. He knows how to handle it, perhaps because of the training and the discipline that we band members had as band members. Because it's quite difficult to keep on putting up a show and have that energy in spite of being sick at the moment or having, you know, problems at home.
What I like about Haji's legacy is that until now, I know siguro yung masasabi niyang peak in the industry was probably a decade or two back, pero hanggang ngayon, we still feel the reverberations of his work. We still go back to it. And not a lot of people can say that they've achieved that level of importance dito sa industriya po natin. When we take a look at the legacy that he's leaving behind, what do you think that is? And why do you think people always turn back to him? Because he feels timeless in so many ways.
He made himself timeless because he would tweak or reinvent himself. How? By joining the group, the Hitmakers. And he felt very comfortable with them because he really likes to to make jokes. If I remember during our time in circus band, he would always be with the boys, the band members, and all the other male members, no. And he would always crack jokes. He was very quick at observing things and then making a comment about it. And so he was very comfortable when he joined the Hitmakers, which was originally just him and Rico. And between the two of them, they can just keep on throwing jokes. And that made him very, how do I call it? He had a presence on stage because he would connect with the audience through his spiels and the jokes that he would crack, which would springboard into the next song perhaps. So he has many stories to tell. And for a lot of the young performers today, it's not just a matter of being nice and saying the right words. You really have to be quick on your feet. Tita Pilita taught me that. Yeah, because I was feeling uncomfortable when I started doing solo, and she said, "You have to be quick on your feet. You have to know what you're doing. It's the whole overview of the whole show, so you know what to do with yourself."
Miss Pat, you mentioned that he did a lot of jokes, but personally, did you find those jokes funny yourself?
Well, sometimes it's almost misogynistic. But then during my time, those were common terminologies by the boys.
Okay, yeah.
It was normal. And we girls would just go in one corner and talk about the latest clothes, latest whatever.
Miss
Things
Pat,
like that.
before we let you go, if you have one message to say to Haji, what would it be?
I miss him. I feel that he's not gone. It's just, we're just gonna see each other again when we have our next encounter, you know. I miss him. In fact, when Basil and Ate came to the wake, I suddenly cried because it was too close for comfort, for iilan na lang kami. Diba? So, I feel bad.
Miss Pat, he is no longer with us, but Hajji Alejandro's legacy, his memories will live on forever because we will continue listening to his songs, singing his songs.
For that.
Yes. And thank you for your time today, singer and actress Miss Pat Castillo. Thank you, Miss Pat, for joining us.
Goodbye. Thank you, Paolo, Anne, and Monique.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Miss Pat.
Bye.
Now we've got more stories for you, plus our horoscope of the day with Master Hans Kua after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Wildfires hit the outskirts of Jerusalem on Wednesday, forcing the evacuation of 3 communities, closing parts of Route 1 and declaring a statewide emergency. The fires, fueled by strong winds and dry weather, produced thick smoke and injured 13 people. No fatalities were reported. Israel deployed 120 fire units, aircraft, and military search teams to combat the blaze. Italy and Croatia are sending firefighting planes, and assistance requests have been made to Greece, Cyprus, and Bulgaria. The fires also led to the cancellation of several Memorial Day events. Authorities continue to monitor the situation. Several storms hit the Midwestern state of Missouri in April, causing damage to homes, businesses, and a small private airport, according to ABC affiliate KSPR. The National Weather Service believes the tornado struck Fremont Hills, located 24 kilometers south of Springfield, the state's 3rd largest city, with winds reaching 145 kilometers per hour. The storms knocked out power to tens of thousands of customers as strong winds toppled trees. Missouri resident Jerry Baus described the storm's growing intensity, saying he was worried while his home escaped damage. A tree fell on his neighbor's house.
I just kept praying that it wouldn't get as bad as it finally got. And you couldn't hardly see anything because it was so foggy. We feel fortunate, and our neighbors have a lot of damage, but they're all alive.
Powerful sandstorms swept through parts of Iraq's Basra and Najaf on Tuesday night, blanketing cities in a thick cloud of dust and sharply reducing visibility. Vehicles crawled through the dense haze as police were deployed to direct traffic and prevent accidents amid the chaotic conditions. Basra Health Directorate reported that nearly 400 people suffered from respiratory issues caused by the storm, though fortunately none of them sustained serious injuries. The event underscores Iraq's growing vulnerability to extreme weather, with the United Nations ranking the country as the 5th most exposed to the global climate crisis. Years of intense drought, scorching temperatures, and shrinking water sources are rendering farmland unusable and making large regions increasingly uninhabitable during the relentless summer months. An unseasonably warm spell swept through Paris and much of northern France on Wednesday, with temperatures reaching 25 degrees Celsius and expected to climb to 30 degrees Celsius in some areas over the weekend. People around Paris were seen enjoying the sunshine, though some expressed concern about how early in the season the warmth had arrived. French weather agency Meteo France attributed the conditions to strengthening high-pressure systems over the north, combined with a pocket of cold air over the Atlantic. They noted that while this warm spell is early, it is not unprecedented and should not be confused with intense heat waves typically experienced in summer. A similar spell occurred in 2005, affecting the entire country from April 28 to May 2. On May 1 of that year, Paris saw temperatures reach 28.7 degrees Celsius, while Strasbourg recorded 29.8 degrees Celsius. Residents of a town in western Peru spent Monday clearing debris and mud left by a deadly landslide that claimed 2 lives and impacted hundreds, according to Peruvian media. The landslide occurred early Monday after forming a lagoon emptied into the Casca River, causing it to overflow and catching residents off guard. 8 people were injured and hundreds were affected. National Institute for Research on Glaciers and Mountain Ecosystems confirmed that the incident was caused by the overflow of a glacial lagoon at the foot of Valyunarahu Mountain in the same area where a similar event occurred on March 26. Officials warned in a press conference that around 160 lagoons in the Ancash region are at a risk of overflowing. And that's it for Global Weather on Weather HQ today. Back to you, girls.
Thank you so much, Pao. Now, is today Labor Day your lucky day or not? Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Thursday, May 1. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, pahalagahan ang alaala at oras kasama ang pamilya. Ito ang tunay na pundasyon ng pagmamahal. Yellow at 4. Kay Year of the Ox naman tayo, ang tamang pagbabudget ay makakatulong sa plano mong bokasyon. Green at 7. Kay Year of the Tiger naman tayo, gamitin ang buwan na ito upang pag-isipan ang career growth mo. Blue at 9. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, pahinga at tamang tulog ang solusyon sa stress at pagod. Aqua at 3. Kay Year of the Dragon naman tayo, iwasan ang distraction upang mas maging focus at productive. Magenta at 5. Kay Year of the Snake naman tayo, mag-ingat sa sobrang paggastos sa bakasyon. Planuhin ang budget. Gold at 8. Ito naman! Kay Year of the Horsey, ang pagiging tapat at bukas sa damdamin ay magpapatibay sa inyong relasyon. Silver at 8. Kay Year of the Ship naman tayo, mag-relax at umiwas sa stress upang maiwasan ang sakit ng ulo. Purple at 4. Kay Year of the Monkey naman tayo, ang pagsisikap ngayon ay magbubunga ng magagandang opportunity sa hinaharap. Orange at 7. Kay Rooster naman tayo, iwasan ang matinding init ng araw. Gumamit ng sunscreen at panangga. White at 1. Kay Year of the Dog naman tayo, magplano ng isang espesyal na araw kasama si partner o pamilya. Pink at 9. Kay Pig naman tayo, iwasan ang utang at matutong magtipid. Yellow at 5. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day with me, Master Hans Kua.
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua.
Up ahead, do boys really get turned off when girls love them more? That conversation after the break on Love Hacks with Coach V. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. If boys are hardwired to do all the chasing, what happens to all the lover girls out there? Coach V answers this question in today's Love Hacks. Take it away, Coach V.
Love hacks, we got you. No need to be sad.
Good morning, loves. It's a beautiful day. Coach V here, your go-to love solution provider, bringing you a brand new way to level up your love life. Welcome to Love Hacks. Today's episode is for the women who lead with their heart and sometimes forget to guard it. We are asking one of the most painful questions in modern love. Does loving him too much actually make him love you less? And the answer might hurt a little, but don't worry, we are wrapping it in glow-up energy. Let's look at today's story. Anne?
Sa mga lalaki dyan, legit ba na nata-turn off kayo if mas mahal kayo ng babae or partner nyo? Always ko nakikita yung mga post about this, na nata-turn off yung mga lalaki if mas mahal sila ng mga babae. Napapaisip ako kung why. I love my first BF so much. I remember when we weren't together yet, he was consistent, affectionate, and super maalaga. I was cold back then, but I got comfy with him and eventually he became my first. Fast forward to now, we are in an LDR. Mag 2 years na kami, never pa nag-meet. He dropped out of college and started working for his family. I'm still studying. I support him emotionally, even while he plays games. I suggest quality time. I make all the effort. But lately, I'm overthinking. Baka nata-turn off na siya kasi mas mahal ko siya. He says he loves me, but he's not vocal or expressive. He's not as effortful anymore. So now I'm asking, what should I do for balance? I don't want him to feel na hindi ko siya love, pero gusto ko rin makita yung effort na tulad ng binibigay ko.
Let's unpack this with science in a reality check. Do men really lose interest when you love them too much? Love's the short answer. Sometimes, yes. But not because love is bad, but because unbalanced energy kills attraction. Psychologists call it relationship overfunctioning. It's when one partner starts doing the emotional labor for both people, like scheduling calls, sending sweet texts, planning everything, over loving for two, kung baga. And men, some are wired to value pursuit more than comfort. If they feel like they no longer have to work for your love, they stop working, period. But here's the kicker. It's not your love that turns them off. It's when you start loving him more than you love yourself. Do you agree with this? Have you had experience wherein you end up loving the guy more than you love yourself? And Pao, this is an interesting question also for Pao. Pao, how do you feel about a woman who loves you more than she loves herself? Gusto mo ba yun?
Well, kasi personally, I don't think patas in general, normally. Like, I always feel that someone ends up loving more than the other. Pero I think it's different when you say, like what you said here, it's different when they start loving you more than they love themselves.
Yes.
Kasi syempre, taking care of themselves is also important.
That's
I
right.
think that's what really sets alarm bells off kapag nakita mo na, okay, they aren't taking care of themselves as much or valuing themselves as much because they value the partner more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how about you, girls? Kasi iba like, have you loved more compared to your partners, respectively?
Well, in my opinion, I think it doesn't really matter who loves who more, as long as you keep some self-respect for yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Self-respect. And Mo?
Momo?
I agree with Pao. I feel like in every relationship, there's always one that likes the other more. But I think it also depends on your love language, because you have to take that into consideration, right? The girl may show it in a different way versus the guy who may show it a different way, and maybe she takes that differently. So, correct. I don't know. I just think you have to communicate and maybe not give everything and maybe overwhelm him too much.
That's a good point, because sometimes they get overwhelmed too. Did you know that in evolutionary psychology, men are biologically wired to pursue and protect? And what they perceive as valuable and rare, they usually protect. If you're always available, always initiating, always giving, you stop feeling like a prize and you feel like a service. And let's be honest, even the sweetest man talaga can get comfortable when he stops feeling like he has to earn your affection. According to a 2011 study nga in psychological science, men reported higher satisfaction when they felt admired, but lower satisfaction when they felt overly pursued or emotionally flooded. So baka by the end of the day, women are not really supposed to pursue men. It's the other way around. If we learn from attachment theory, people, especially yung mga avoidant types, are likely to pull away daw when they feel overwhelmed with emotional intensity that they didn't earn. Whew. So yes, when the energy is unbalanced, the attraction fades. Kaya siguro na-fall out of love sila. So here's your glow-up guide when you feel like you're doing too much. Ladies, here are the steps. Number 1, mirror lang, don't multiply. Just match his energy. If he's giving casual, don't serve commitment on a silver platter. Effort should flow both ways. Number 2, stay soft, my love, but prioritize yourself. Be the woman he admires, not the one he depends on to survive his own mood swings. Self-care isn't selfish, it's magnetic. Number 3, shift the focus. Instead of asking, does he still love me? Ask, do I still proud of how I'm loving myself while I'm loving him? And number 4, remember, you are the reward, ladies. You are not applying for the position of most understanding girlfriend. You are the prize. Act like one. And number 5, pull back, not to punish, but to reset. Healthy love should energize, not exhaust you. So if you're always tired, it's time to reroute. To every woman who gives and gives until she's exhausted, let this episode remind you. The right man isn't turned off by your love. He's turned on by your glow. If he's drifting while you're devoting, don't love him less, just love yourself more. Because the moment you stop chasing, you start attracting. That's it for today, loves. This is Coach V giving you real talk about real love. Feeling like you're giving too much in a relationship? DM me, Dating Coach V, and let's bring your energy back to you. Let's not just talk about love, let's protect your power, girl. Join me again next week and have a beautiful day. Love you.
Natawa doon sa pursuing because didn't Anne pursue hard when she was younger?
Oh yeah, that was the pager one.
The pager one, the phone book one.
Yeah, that is just one guy.
Oh.
Yo,
There was one guy with a lot of steps. It took so long to pursue it.
But let's ask when it comes to the husband, because she didn't end up with that guy that she pursued.
He was
Now,
just,
your husband, were you the one who pursued him or he pursued you?
No, he pursued me.
There you go, girl.
Kinapitan siya ng
And my
Velcro.
And with his Velcro wallet. But yeah, kasi it's also, para siyang dumaan sa butas ng karayom because my parents are super strict, especially my dad. So, you know, he wooed my parents and he got to know my family. So, there.
That's probably why he valued you more.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
How do you feel when a girl chases you?
Yun.
Do you like that or do you prefer doing it
I
yourself?
have a feeling that he likes a woman who pursues.
He's getting
But
kilig
let's-
already. Look at his face. Can we zoom in on Pao's face? He's already so kilig.
He looks like
Iba yung blush on ni Pao today.
Napatrip down memory lane na ako eh.
No, right?
Yun
So
totoo,
pogi
Pao.
kasi. The gorilla energy.
Gorilla energy.
No, but I think I think it's different sometimes because when you talk about girls pursuing, it doesn't necessarily mean like they're gonna get your pager number or check you out in sa phone book. Like minsan nga they're not the ones to slide into your DMs, right? For a more modern term for it. Pero sometimes it's subtle and it's like little bait. Like when I mean little bait, it's like they start conversations and then if you latch onto it, that's the pursuit. But it's not necessarily too hardcore. I've never experienced
So
anything
you
like
like it when they do it subtly, but what if somebody comes onto you so strong?
I've never experienced that.
But what if?
What if?
Will it turn you off?
No, I'm not gonna have hypotheticals. Happy na ako, okay? So, I'm not going to go through that.
But you know what, Pao, I agree with you. That's why when we give tips to ladies, we tell them do not pursue, but give positive signals. That's what he was talking about. When a lady smiles, when a lady like waves, but not necessarily go up to you and ask you, what's your number, Pao? But then send positive signals that it's okay to approach me.
Ba't kayo natawa?
Nothing. I'm just laughing at you kasi yung funny mo today. Funny mo lang.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, like, siguro the only thing closest to that is I was asked if I wanted coffee out. Like, that's it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's probably the most aggressive one.
Yeah.
But then apart from that, that's
Iba na kasi yung generation now eh.
Pakipot.
Hindi, people are more forward. They will really approach you if they like you.
And I know girls now, they ask you out. They'll say, I want to take you out. I think you're cute. Let's go to
So
dinner.
it's a totally
it's
different world we live in now.
So learning from this tip, ladies, go for it. You could approach, but always approach with class and with femininity again.
Yeah.
Never
Kids
aggressive.
these days. Coach V, maraming
All
salamat.
right,
We
thank
really
you very
appreciate you. And that is it for us this Thursday, May 1, and this holiday. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you for making us your daily morning habit. Remember to always choose joy and spread love and kindness wherever you go.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. I hope you guys have a great Thursday holiday ahead and a great whole month of May ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!